First off, I want to give Kevin a thank you for sharing this video with me. And second off, I want to give the female that you're seeing here in this video a big thank you for posting this video. I'm not going to play the video here, but I'm going to leave the link to this video underneath in the more. And I would suggest that people go listen to it. The sad thing about this video is the fact that it's been up for quite a while now, and it only has 113 views. That is sad. It needs a whole lot more views than that. It really does. And I would suggest that people listen to what she has to tell you, because every last word she said in this here video is spot on, 100% correct. And I want to tell her thank you. I appreciate what I heard her say very much. And I'm going to touch the topic that she's talked about a little bit and a couple other things that she didn't talk about that goes right along with this, okay? Everything she said in this video is 100% correct. But there's other issues that need to go into this as well. Like the double standards in society. You know, one of the things that happened from the time you grew up in school as a child. The one thing that happens to boys is boys are taught that they're never to hit a girl. Never to hit a girl. And so what is wrong with that picture? Let me tell you what's wrong with that picture. It should have never been a gender put into that situation. It should have been children are taught never hit another child. Period. End of story. It should never have been a gender. What you've done was you sexually discriminated against the boy from the time he was a child. Why do I say that? Because it's simple. When you teach a boy that he's not allowed to hit the girl knows that the boy has been told they're not allowed to hit the girl. So then you have the prime example of a 14-year-old girl who's getting off a school bus, and I watched this physically happen, okay? And a boy who are arguing with each other when they get off the bus, and the girl doubled her fist up and squared that boy right in the face, bloodied him, and the boy punched her back. About that time, two women come running across the street screaming at the boy. The boy's bleeding, the girl's not, because the girl sidestepped when he punched her, so he just grazed her, okay? Well, these two women are screaming, he's bleeding. He says she punched me, he's bleeding. I watched it, I was sitting in my front yard, it happened right in front of me, as it did these two women on the other side of the street. And they immediately yelled, "So what?" as he was bleeding. She is a girl, you're not allowed to hit her. What's wrong with that picture? That's exactly what's wrong with that picture. She had no right hitting him. And she was basically condoned, told it's acceptable for her to do what she done by the very actions of us teaching children that boys are not allowed to hit girls. You put a gender into the situation that did not belong there. No gender should have ever been put into that situation. It should be simple. In elementary school, you teach the kids you do not hit one another and leave the genders out of it. End of story. Then the other thing I want to address is this gal here posted a video on bullying. You know, I'm not trying to give her any slack on that. I know she had good intentions when she posted that video, and she really meant well. From her heart, she did what she felt was right, and she had good intentions. So I'm going to tell her thank you for that, but I'm going to say a couple of things about bullying where it's miscued. Okay, at least when it comes to the male gender, it definitely is. See, as me being a man, not a woman, I can't answer for how it is for the females when they're bullied, okay? Bullying has gotten a lot, well, bullying's been around for neons, okay? But it's become a lot worse since the time I was a child to now. And that's no lie. It's become a whole lot worse since the time I was a child to now. I'm 53 years old. This gal grew up in the same time I grew up in, okay? And I can tell you this. bullies, when it comes to boys, this is what child boy lives with when they're bullied. Okay, they get bullied by the kid at school, who most of the time that boy is running in a pack of his other friends, and they all bully him. Okay, so he's already outnumbered. Then what happens when the boy turns him in or the boy says something? Everybody around him says, man up. Man up and take it. That's right. That's what's said. To a boy, they've been told their whole life to man up and take it. The bullying is normal. It's a part of life. And you have to learn how to man up and take it and become tough. Well, the problem with that is, see, now what's happened is you've taken the victim and you've furtherly victimized them. You told them they had to man up, even if they were outnumbered. You furtherly victimized them. So what did you do? You victimized the victim. That's what you did. Now the bully, the majority of bullies, when it comes to the male gender, this is fact. The majority of bullies grow up to be adult bullies. They become a cop in law enforcement, and they bully the people on the streets. They become a congressman. They become a senator. They become a boss on a job who bullies their employees. And they become smarter about the way they bully people. And why did they grow up to be an adult bully in these positions? Because they was never taught that bullying wasn't wrong. Matter of fact, their actions was condoned. They wasn't held accountable for their actions when they was a child. Their actions was condoned because the boy they bullied was told to man up, allowing the bullies to get by with it. And that is no lie. That is fact. Okay? So unfortunately, I know she had good intentions with her bullying video, but the real truth stands when it comes to the male gender anyhow. I can't answer for the female gender because I'm not a female. Okay? I know females are bullied by other females. But I cannot give an answer for how it is for the female gender. But I know how it is for the boys' gender, and I know for a fact that the majority of bullies grow up, they become adult bullies. Because they was never taught or held responsible for their actions when they was a child. Their actions was condoned. And the victim was the one that was ridiculed and told to man up. Anyhow, I wanted to get that off my chest. And the other thing I want to say is you might want to take a look at, definitely watch her video. Pay attention to what she's telling you in here on Real Men Cry, because that's 100% fact. See, double standards, once again, feminism was created to divide the genders and destroy the family unit and to line the Rothschilds or Rockefellers' foundation's pockets, which it did by getting taxes from the other half of the population that wasn't working. And they gave you a big old lie, and they told you that the men suppressed the women down and didn't allow them to vote. When the reality is if you went back in time when the women couldn't vote, you'd find out the men couldn't vote neither. That's correct. You'd find out neither could the men. The only people that could vote was the wealthy, the landowners. That's right. The wealthy landowners was the only people allowed to vote. Everybody else was not allowed to vote. That included men, by the way. See, that was the lie they gave you to create the division amongst the genders. Then they gave you a whole bunch of other propaganda, you know, like a woman needs a man, like a fish needs a bicycle. And I could go on with a whole list of propaganda. And then if you watch the TV set and you watch it close and you pay attention to commercials, you see the male bashing and everything. Male bashing, male bashing, male bashing. Double standards, double standards. You know, double standards. The woman's always right even if she's wrong. That's not true. Wrong is wrong, right is right. And that also goes for a man. See, we're all human beings. Every last one of us. There's men that are just as emotional as a woman are. Why? And there's women that ain't quite as emotional as another woman. Why? Because we're all different. But the one thing we all have in common is we're all human beings. We all have emotions. We all have feelings. We all have wants and needs. But a man, just like what she said, has been taught to suppress their emotions. That they're tough. They're not supposed to cry. That's why I said watch her video. She said it 100% correct. Every word in this video she posted is spot on. And that's the reason I'm doing this here in reply to her. On top of the fact, I want to see more people see this video, and I want more people to listen to her words. She's telling you the truth. More division that was created was by the justice system, the criminal cartel justice system. You know, like the Violence Against Women's Act. Did you know that it's actually wrote in the law, in the bill, the Violence Against Women's Act, that a man cannot be a victim to domestic abuse from a woman? No, it's just not possible. A man can never be a victim to a woman in domestic abuse. It's wrote in the law that way. The Violence Against Women's Act was to create more division. Once again, it leaves the woman able to do whatever she wants to a man, and he's not supposed to be able to say anything or do anything, and he can't do anything about it. You want to hear another double standard? Breast cancer. If a woman gets breast cancer and she ain't got the money to pay for it, there's actually government programs and funding through Medicaid or Medicare that she'll qualify that will help her pay for that breast cancer. But if a man gets breast cancer, and believe me, there are men that do get breast cancer, and breast cancer in a man is every bit as deadly to that man as it is to a woman. But there is no funding for the man. The man will not qualify for the same funding the female qualifies based on his gender. More division created by the government. You better understand one thing and one thing only. The absolute truth is your government, corporations and bankers have purposely, willing and knowingly, purposely divided the genders. Made double standards and double laws. Look at your court system. The woman bears a child. Husband and wife are together. They get divorced. They've been together for years. The woman has the kids. The woman takes the kids. The woman takes the house. She takes the car. She takes it all. Based on the fact she has the kids. And in some cases, the kids would have been better with the dad than they would the mother. And that is no lie. Once again, it's a double standard. Okay? There's so many different double standards in society, but they've been created deliberately to cause division amongst the women and men. MRA, men's rights activists. You hear them say a lot of stuff that's 100% accurate. Then you also hear them say stuff that's hogwash. Okay, excuse my language, but that's exactly what it is, hogwash. Okay? Why? Because they focus in on the differences between men and women. That's why. You know, you got to stop focusing on the difference between the man and the woman. Because the woman's going to have skills and talents just like the man's got skills and talents. And she might be better at this and you might be better at that. But you know what? Even with just men, I might be better at doing something than some guy down the road is. And he might be better at doing something else that I'm not good at. The fact of life is that we're all human beings. We all have different skills in our lives. And gender has not a damn thing to do with it. And this myth about women are weaker than men is just exactly what it is. It's a myth. And that's no lie. It's a myth. And people fall for it. There's many women out here that are every bit as strong as a guy. And even if the woman ain't, don't fool yourself one little bit that she couldn't pick up an equalizer and mess you up. See, it's just a double standard. It's to create division. It's all it's ever been. It's to create division between the men and women.